How did we get to the celery again? I was trying to...
Sucking it up with the foot. Foot sucking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
In 1996, Scholastic began publishing Animorphs. Over the next 6 years, Katherine Applegate and her husband, Michael Grant, under the pseudonym K.A. Applegate, produced 54 main series books, several spin-offs, and inspired a TV series, graphic novels, and a cult following. We can't tell you where we live. We can't even tell you our last names. But we can tell you our thoughts and feelings on this series, book by book. I'm Miranda.
I'm Eddy.
And I'm Chris.
And we are... the Anidorks! These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised. So, we crashed. And then, chapter 21. I woke up.
Took a nap. Well, first we took a nap. No, I think we were knocked unconscious.
We shot a hole in the ship and it crashed and we didn't really know what happened.
I was making a little fun.
Wait, can I want to read that line before. Did I read this before? I just liked it. When the ship's crashing, after that, everything was noise and spinning and pain and confusion.
That's what I feel like getting born is.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like going to work is.
All right, so we got to take stock. What's going on? I've got muscles I didn't know about. That's disconcerting. Mm-hmm. No, so he says, muscles I didn't even know I had ached.
Mm-hmm. Which
I was wondering.
Returns to this idea that Elfangor doesn't know anything about his own anatomy, including that his hooves have tongues. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. He could not know.
And those tongues. Those tongues are licking.
Oh my
dirt
God!
Right now.
I just imagine Elfangor. Do you know, like the first time someone stands in the mirror and they have like they're looking at their own anatomy, and he's doing that with his there's like the vagina
holding
monologues
his hoof up to a mirror
of like the woman like sitting and holding a mirror up to herself, like looking at herself.
I know what you're talking about.
I do remember.
That's Elfangor. With his hoof tongue. Like, he's looking into his hoof, like, for the first time.
But it's like his butthole, there's just no good angle where he can, like, get a real solid look at.
Yeah.
Now you need two mirrors for that. We all know that.
Anyway, Elfangor's crash landed, he's waking up, and he's trying to figure out what just happened. He's trying to find where Arbron is, right? He's calling out to Arbron.
But Arbron is gone.
Arbron, my love! Where are you?
All the emergency lights on the Skritna ship are green. They're like, I like to think of it as like glow-in-the-dark green. I think of it as like they spiked everything with glow-in-the-dark tape like you do on a set for a play.
Yeah.
It's like a strange little detail. Like, I don't feel like these books have a lot of details like that. Like, there's no explanation for it. It's just that the Skritna have green emergency lighting.
Yeah, they just do.
Yeah.
So he's looking around. He can't find Arbron, and he notices that the two Skrit cocoons are gone. He doesn't know if they hatched. He thinks they were probably knocked loose, because if they hatched, you'd probably see remnants. So he thinks they went out the 2-foot hole, I guess.
So he's got to put together a plan.
And he finds a bunch of Skritna treasure?
Yeah. He's
That's
like, I'm going to
it.
raid the... Yeah, that's what I call
raid the
my
raiders.
Stuff. Yeah. And so he's, what can I find here? What can I use? Like, and I should probably lay eyes on the thing I thought I was stealing in the first place, which you know, he did lay eyes on.
So he finds frozen, preserved animals.
He finds a copy of Frozen on DVD.
Yes. Bundles of the artificial skin that Lauren and Chapman wore. So the Skritna know that clothing is a big trade. I think this is an Andalite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He finds glass bottles full of liquids, so probably, like, I don't know. It could be anything. It could be, like, I don't know about you guys, but I used to get, like, those, like, cheap fake perfume bottles you could fill with sand and stuff. And sometimes if I didn't have sand, I would just take food dye and water, and I'd make pretty colors, and then I'd put them on my shelf. Mm-hmm. So this could be a kindergartner's art project, for all we know, but it could be the best whiskey in the world. It might be.
Could be. You have to drink it to find out. After going through all those things, though, there's a couple items of note here, and one of which is merely described. It's much larger. There were 2 larger items, and one was a shiny yellow painted creation with 4 black wheels. Now, this is how dumb I am. I was thinking like a copy machine on casters. Like, that's what I was thinking. No joke. I was like, well, it's big. It's big, but it's not big. Anyway.
I saw yellow painted and I thought school bus or taxi cab.
I thought school bus too, and I actually do think that they made a mistake by not.
Here's the thing. I agree with you. When you make a copy machine out of plastic that they made in the 80s and it lasts for a long time, it yellows. It tints. It's and
I'd say that's more of an off-white, though. I don't know that I'd go with yellow.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway.
Can we go through this list, Miranda? You were going through it.
No.
I kind of want to hit everything else and just...
We did the end of the list on purpose.
Yeah, we skipped the rest of the list.
Which one were you avoiding? Odd, antiquated electronic equipment?
Which one. Guess at home. Leave us a 5-star review telling us which one you thought I was avoiding. Which one is
Chris uncomfortable discussing on the air?
I'm not going to tell you.
So old antiquated electronic equipment. What did that mean at this moment? Because...
It's odd antiquated, actually, because old antiquated would be redundant.
Yes. Odd antiquated electronic equipment. Is it Laserdisc? Did that happen yet?
Laserdisc was still pretty hot.
It could have been like an OG telephone, but he wouldn't know what that is because he doesn't have a fucking mouth.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, so all.
He would be holding the handset up to his butt.
All of the electronic equipment is antiquated to him, so it could be current.
Now, I'm not going to tell you which one upset me.
We know, okay? We know. Small objects that looked like hundreds of rectangular sheets of paper glued together on one side.
That's right, because Axe told us that Andalites didn't have books. He was like, humans, they did something right when they came up with books.
Yeah, he did do that. That's well remembered, Miranda.
So, is that a book? That's not a book?
Yep.
Yeah, it's either a book or he's going to end up looking at a photo album, but he does say that there's multiple of them, and he only ends up looking at a couple of them, so some of them are probably just regular books.
And a long crate of what I could almost swear were primitive weapons. Is this like a silverware drawer?
Long crate. Long.
That can be long.
What are they, like, stacked end to end in there? What are you talking about? It's not long. You don't use a spear to eat salad, Eddie.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably spears, long guns,
you think it's actually primitive
rifles.
weapons?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But it ain't
swords.
It ain't
Would he know what a sword is? I don't know.
They look like tiny weapons. Yeah, a spear.
Tiny.
What's that? What's that
somewhere.
scene? It's from Beckett. He's like Beckett brings forks, and Henry II's like, "What are these?" And he's like, "You eat with them." And he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "To avoid dirtying your fingers." And he's like, "What's wrong with dirtying your fingers?" He's like, "Well, you can wash these." And he's like, "You can wash your fingers."
I never saw it bended like Beckett.
But then he says, he was like, let's make a bet on how long it takes them to start fighting with them. And then it cuts, in the movie at least, it cuts directly to a scene of 2 men fighting with forks across the table.
This is like when Chapman's talking about eating meat, right? Is that what happened in our...
Oh, yeah, skewering dead animals.
But he was just talking about how humans eat
and Chris,
in
Chris
and
was
like,
we read it 2 different ways. You thought that...
Yes, yeah.
There was some dark way of eating that Chapman was alluding to.
Oh, right, when the truth was revealed.
Yeah. Anyway, school bus.
He finds a school bus, and then...
No, he doesn't find a school bus. He finds a shiny yellow painted creation with 4 black wheels.
Yeah, it's a school bus. And then he finds it.
Yeah.
This
we're gonna clown?
Off-white. See, he knows the term off-white.
The clown.
This
from Stephen King's The Clown. Named It.
This large off-white sphere, maybe 10 feet in diameter.
I know it's Pennywise, but I'm just saying.
Sorry. Please, Miranda.
Unmarked, perfectly smooth. You would never know what it was if you hadn't seen the power readings. Invisible to the eye, it spread its grid down through the very fabric of time-space. What a neat phrase.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking, we haven't seen the time ship yet. But this is a little Anidorks prediction that the ship Elfangor arrived in the beginning of Animorphs was the time ship.
I think you're 100% right with that. I think
this
you
is
said
the
that like
aesthetic.
a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
No, I just talked about
you
Miranda's prediction blowing my mind. I think that's what you're remembering. And you were like, spoilers.
But then you saw my prediction you put it together, yeah.
I've been like walking down the street and stopping people and being like, did you realize that Elfangor's ship might be the time ship from the...
But it's true that we never saw that aesthetic described again. That we saw in that time
not
ship.
In not in the Andalites, not in the Scritnon, not in the years.
Yeah, and we know that the Andalite tech it has that grippy, slippy stuff so that they're not all hoofing around on each other.
True.
Wait, but then do you remember that Elfangor had a picture of his nuclear family there?
He did.
Was that him and that had to have been him and Elfangor, him and what's his brother's name? Oh my god. Axe. Oh my god. With their parents, right? But at the time, I think we thought it was him with his wife and their 2.5 kids.
Yeah, but that does not seem to be the case because his son's
Because
Tobias.
that would be Loran and Tobias, right? Yeah. And they would have had to get that done at Sears, and that would have been a whole
Sears.
Sears. There's a joke there, yeah.
We gotta make
we
that
hit it,
logo,
bud. I think we hit it.
So he found the time matrix. It's more powerful than 10 suns. It says, we get a cool drop here. It says, to move a ship into zero space took more power than a medium-sized star. To move anything through time took 10 times that power. The power of 10 suns. All somehow contained in that off-white sphere.
Little Eggy for a little swipey.
Eggy.
Little Eggy.
Do you know what I keep thinking? Is that we joked about the time matrix being contained in a time ship. That the time and then the time ship needs to be kept in a time garage, and I keep thinking that that's actually true. Like, okay, like I keep thinking, and then I'm like, wait, no,
Like it's
yeah.
You can't just keep the time ship anywhere. It has to be in the time garage, okay? Nothing else has the 4-dimensional breadth.
You can't park a time ship in a regular garage.
That's right.
It would pierce through the house.
Where is the time ship?
We
It's
don't know.
at a right angle to the 3 dimensions we're familiar with, Ed. It's in past and present.
Where did it come up that there was a time ship?
They
He
literally
mentions
said
it
it
in the
like
beginning.
once
He's
in
like,
this book.
If only I
once
could
in
get
this
back
book.
to the time ship, which I guess shits on the idea that his ship was the time ship, but
It's true. But they mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Elfangor calls out to Arbron again. We have no idea where Arbron is.
still not there, yeah.
Yeah, he's missing. Can't take a nap with Arbron. He'll walk off.
So he goes and he looks outside and he takes a look around and he's like, where do I think, where has my Arbron
If I were an
gone?
Arbron, where would I go?
Where would I be? And he's like, I think he's maybe he's in that valley. Oh, I don't know. He could have gone into the mountainsides. Who fucking knows? And then he goes back into the ship and he sees like a photo album.
Or a magazine?
Or a magazine, yeah. I don't know why I thought it was a photo album.
I flipped through pictures of humans doing things I could not understand. He sees... Oh,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But then there was one picture I understood immediately. It showed a marvelously tall waterfall. The waterfall crashed into a pool surrounded by trees, all of them green. Overhead was a blue sky. 2 humans were smiling and sticking tiny white cylinders into their mouths.
Ugh,
Cigarettes.
I thought they were fucking lollipops or popsicles or something.
I feel like this is...
I thought it was like an Axel Roxas moment where they have those like sea salt popsicles or whatever.
Yeah. This is all... What we're seeing is Elfangor falling in love with humanity, right? Like, that's what's happening through this whole section. He loves...
He's like, cigarettes are beautiful.
He thinks the grass looks sweet.
Yeah. Implying that it has a flavor.
It would be nice to run there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
To run with Loran and forget everything that happened. Forget that I was alone on a planet.
Why doesn't he want to run with Lauren and Chapman and Arbron? That was such a happy moment for him.
Check this line out, though. Check this out, though. Forget that I was alone on this planet of evil. My only companion probably dead. My prince lost.
It's pretty wild.
Pretty good.
He loves his prince.
And he misses Arbron.
Then he sees what I think So he says, I turned to other pictures. I saw small, strange pictures of humans doing nothing but smiling. And I really think these are wallet-sized school photos. Like, I think he's just looking through somebody's wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. And there were pictures of human technology, a flying machine of some sort, humans holding long rods that spit fire torches.
I actually never figured that one out. Long rods that spit fire doesn't actually...
What seemed like hideous cities, and then to my delight, a picture of an actual human spacecraft.
A chemical rocket.
Yeah, which he could tell just from the box. It's crazy. And he's falling in love with humanity and much...
But then he sees beaches and oceans and mountains, and he's like, I want to put my feet all over those.
That alien landscape of Earth took me away from the drab horror of the Taxxon world. I wondered if Chapman might be from the jagged human cities. Was that why he was so much harsher than Loren? Was Loren from the beautiful green country where smiling humans stick white cylinders?
So they do like...
in their mouths,
they do like... The Andalites, or at least Elfangor, likes humans actually for the ways in which they value the same things as them, right? And they're kind of similar.
Yes.
They both come from grass
Which is a very childish way to like a thing.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easier that way.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. They just like me.
Wow, it looks so different there. I could run across the grass just as I run across the grass here, but differently.
Plenty of room to park my blade ship. I don't know. Whatever they fucking
Because to me, the Taxxon planet actually sounds pretty cool, especially once we went from the desert area to the mountains. We got that there were trees.
It sounds like Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's
good hiking there.
Right.
So,
that's what they say.
Elfangor falls asleep looking at these pictures. It's very similar to falling asleep looking at your phone. It's really the same thing. It sounds silly when you hear it this way, but when you think of it as scrolling through your feed, it's
staring at
pretty relatable.
Pictures of other people's lives. Going, I wish I could do that.
I wish I was happy.
So he wakes up and there's light from the sun, and so he goes to get a better look at his surroundings. And he kind of got it. He's like, there are mountains and valleys, but he sees some tracks from the night before. He sees his own tracks, but then there were other Taxxon tracks.
Very cute tracks.
So they had to be Arbron's tracks, right? But no, there's several more Taxxons, 5 sets of Taxxon tracks all together.
Taxxon tracks would be a great flavor of ice cream.
Taxxon tracks.
It's like Rocky Road, but there's
like
gummy worms in it.
Oh.
Yeah, moose tracks
And-
with gummy worms.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yo, for the eyes?
Yeah, order little Taxxon poops.
You know, sprinkles really look like mouse poop.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed this?
I don't like thinking about that.
Even rainbow sprinkles, because my mice are gay.
Do you think that that Arbron, when he's walking in his Taxxon morph, he just sometimes the tracks are just like a smudge because he falls over because he's injured, and then he gets up and keeps walking, and then he falls over again. That would be kind of sweet.
Because he's limping.
Like in David Lynch's The Straight Story when he's driving cross country on a tractor.
Listen, I don't want to hear anything called a straight story. So, we see 5 sets of Taxxon tracks, and then we see a set of insect-like tracks, and the evidence of something being carried away or dragged away. So he theorizes Taxxons came, took Arbron, and the Skrit, and maybe the 2 cocoon Skrit. That's all we got. So...
He thinks the cocoon Skrit woke up, right? Or they're carrying the Skrit?
I think they'd be dragging them.
Oh, okay.
So we see one set of Gnaw tracks.
Cocoon Skrits with them. Yeah.
No, we see one set of Skrit tracks, the insect-like tracks, and then something like large being dragged, and so that would be the other 2 Skrit cocoons.
Yeah. Okay. So he thinks maybe I should try to follow the tracks to Arbron. No, it had to be logical. So he instead thinks of going back to Alarin. His duty was to get back to him, communicate what happened with the Time Matrix and Arbron. And so he goes looking through the ship again. He goes back to that yellow painted vehicle. And disappointingly, we find out it's not a school bus. It's a Mustang.
It's a fucking Mustang. And this is when I lose any semblance of giving half a shit about anything. I'm not paying my taxes this year. It's over, guys, because we're reading this book and we're on a fucking alien planet and we're having a lovely time. And now he's read a little magazine about humans and it's like, okay, I'm going to fucking drive a muscle car across the desert.
Yeah.
When they said fear and loathing in a previous fucking chapter.
True.
I'm just saying, this is so stupid. It's so ridiculous.
But these books have been stupid before. Yeah,
it.
it's great. It's
just like I like when they're stupid and I like when they're stupid. This is a lot.
silly. I think it's silly.
It's silly.
It's silly, and it's like oh man. Anyway, so he gets this car.
He rips the door off, makes it bigger, rips all the seats out, and is standing.
But it's
in
also
the car.
a convertible. He's going to be standing in it. The way he's going to be driving.
He never
this thing
actually
is
says that it was a convertible.
He takes the roof off. He takes the.
No way. Well, but that's what you would do with the convertible.
Well, yeah, but I don't know that it. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It was made of flimsy cloth. You're right.
Flimsy cloth top.
Cloth top means convertible. Yeah. You are right.
Yeah.
Editor's note. Why the fuck does he keep calling it artificial skin if he suddenly knows what cloth is here? I'm sorry, I'm listening back to this several weeks later, and I'm going to be honest, I've been having a time, and this is now just sticking with me. He knows what cloth is. He's known what cloth is this entire time. What, but it's artificial skin when he finds it on the script, not treasure. I'm sorry, I digress. Continue on.
Bam! So, thank you. But, so the way that he's driving this thing, let's just talk about this. As I've never seen a horse drive a car. And I'm just he's mostly human in the front seat, but then he has this long curving portion that is sitting in.
No, he takes
I don't think it's sitting. I think he's just standing.
He takes the chairs out.
I think he's sitting.
He took
in the
all the seats out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, I set to work enlarging the hole in the side of the cargo hold. Then I removed the chairs in the machine. I discovered that I could fit inside the machine if I removed the flimsy cloth top. So, yeah, he removed the chair.
I stared, yes.
And then he turns on the radio.
Yeah.
A tape player, no less.
Yeah, it's a tape player, and he's listening to tapes, and his mind is blown. He's like, whoa, this is such primitive technology, which is funny because why is it blowing his mind now when everything seems so fucking primitive to him all the time?
Well, it blows his mind how primitive it is, and then it blows his mind that all it does is scream at you.
Right, because it's the Rolling Stones, I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
But he says,
on the tape.
He starts the engine, he likes how it vibrates, and the noise it makes. He says it was primitive, all right, but it vibrated in a most satisfying way. And I liked it.
Yeah. Feel the hum of the engine, baby. Feel this kitty purr. Ugh.
Uh-huh.
And Chris couldn't deal with the masculinity of this chapter, so our notes switched from you were doing notes in green
I didn't even
to doing notes
do
in
that, but
hot Barbie pink.
Right.
You're so right. You're right. On some intrinsic level, I was like, something needs to be balanced here.
Fuck this.
Fuck this.
This.
So Elfangor says, there is nothing like driving this Mustang. He says, I have run mag hover trucks. I have flown bug fighters. I have flown Skritna Raiders at 3,000 miles per hour in atmosphere. But I had never experienced anything more exhilarating than racing down the valley and out across the open Taxxon fucking shit, dick. And out across the open Taxxon desert in my Mustang. It went only 100 miles per hour, but with the wind in your face, whipping your fur, bending your stalk eyes back, it was certainly a wild ride.
Let's just talk about this, because he's saying that flying a fucking fighter jet is less exciting than a shitty-ass muscle car.
Well, the vibration, Chris.
Oh, yes.
And his face in the wind.
Yeah, his stalk eyes being ripped off. Yeah, you can tell. I feel like if you actually had stalk eyes, you wouldn't write this bit. I feel like that's
I would,
actually...
if I had stalk eyes in this scenario and I could, I'd tuck them back.
And they really want you to remember the wind in your face, because we'll get, again, we just got the wind in your face. I was racing across the Taxxon desert in a human vehicle toward probable doom, but with the wind in my face and the music in my ears mingling with the loud roar of the engine.
And the vibrations in my butt. Yeah. He's just like, it's
and he's
so
drinking
ridiculous.
Dr. Pepper. It feels like he's having a midlife
grosses
crisis.
me out
Very
so
gross.
much.
I do
This
want
is so
to
gross.
quickly point out, he's actually not heading to Arbron. He's heading back to the spaceport to try to find
Right.
Alarin.
Did I say that? Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you did. If you did, I missed it, so I'm saying it again. Okay.
No, that's fine. But then he gets the Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper, the bottles had said. I figured that was human writing for brown bubbling water. After that, I quickly determined that they contained water-based liquids. I poured the liquids into a shallow pan and was able to stick in one hoof to drink as I drove.
Oh, these are the glass
Already
bottles.
drinking and driving.
Already drinking and driving. Yeah, these are the glass
Yeah.
bottles.
But here's what fucking hits me, this next paragraph, because we're gonna just reiterate how fucking good it is to drive. We're gonna hit this paragraph that we've been doing over and over and over again one more time. For a while, I just put Arbron out of my mind, I put Alarin out of my mind, and I picture myself with Loren driving in my Mustang across the green grass of Earth, wind in my face, bubbling brown water running up my hoof.
That does imply a sucking. But
It
an
does,
absorption
doesn't it?
could also run up from the hoof. Like celery.
No,
this is
like
what I was talking
celery.
about with the celery. It doesn't mean sucking. It just runs up. Maybe
Miranda,
his hoof
there's
is
an
so
entire-
porous.
Miranda, it could be, but equally likely is my theory.
I don't know about equally.
You know what? I think we're gonna have to throw down at a later date. As he drove, he tried to come up with a plan. One thing was for sure, an Andalite and a Mustang was going to be too obvious. They were going to see that coming a mile away. They'd be like, the Andalites are going to do the Mustang thing again. I don't know what a Mustang is, but they did it 100 years ago, and now they're here to do it
It's
again.
been prophesized.
Yes. We've all seen the tablets.
I would need stealth, he says, but I would not morph to Taxxon again. Not ever.
He's a shitty friend. Poor
Yeah.
Arbron being stuck
He
with...
is. Yeah, fucking solidarity. Wear some makeup, dude. That's when the ground beneath my wheels simply opened up. I don't know what that means either.
Do Taxxons wear makeup?
Of course.
It'd be very
beautiful. Yeah.
With two little
very
blush
cute.
spots on their little
Two little
cheekies.
blush spots and
Yeah.
little cheekies.
Yeah.
And mascara around their
Red jello eyes.
their red jello
Oh,
eyes.
you think they have lashes?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
they have
lashes. Okay.
Lashes. Yeah.
They curl?
I think so.
Okay.
But anyway, the ground opens up beneath him, and his whole car is swallowed into a hole.
But what sound does it make when the ground opens up?
Oh my God, Eddie! It's F F F W W W U U U M M P P P exclamation
Shrek.
point. Boom, boom, rumble, rumble, rumble.
The rumble's really phoning it in
Rumble
there.
is strong. It's no
Yes.
Shrek, which I know was supposed to be Shriek, but it was Shrek.
Yeah,
And-
it was
Shrek.
Shrek.
She just should have known
Swiping
better.
Eggies just needs a small slap.
A little sleeging time is a treat.
And we also get a scrumph here, too.
Yes, as he tumbles down into the darkness, and then he slides to a halt to the tune of the honky tonk blues.
The Mustang is tumbling down this newly erupted hole in the planet. And he's crashing.
He tries
his
to
car.
turn it off, which I think is very cute.
It is very cute. He took his foot off the accelerator, but that didn't do anything. I slid and rattled and rolled like an Elvis song in my human machine, down, down, down into the ground, down and down like that Blink-182
Yeah,
song.
down,
And then I slid to a halt. Scrumph.
Yeah,
The
I kind of
only
imagine
sound-
it's like a sinkhole, but it actually seems like the ground just kind of reformed.
I think there's a level, there's a desert level in Mario Kart where there's like a big sand pit with like a
Yeah.
monster
Yeah.
in the middle.
Sarlacc.
And I think it's like that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, like that. Yeah,
Exactly.
So he's in darkness.
Yeah, he falls
Yeah.
into the darkness, but not absolute darkness. Eddie, how would you rate this darkness?
I think a 2 out of 5.
Okay. It's a dark.
But it's actually, absolute darkness is probably a 1 out of 5.
with one being what? Like, yeah.
One being absolute darkness.
Okay, not 5 being absolute darkness. Got it.
I jumped into X-Play ratings.
Got it.
Nice.
We give it a 2
A 1
out of 5.
out of 5.
Yes, and so He's in a vast underground cavern. I'm just thinking Tears of the Kingdom now, these caverns that you can go down into. But then at the center of the cavern, so not so vast if you can determine the center of it, I guess, is like a small glowing red mountain.
You say small, but also mountain, so...
Yeah, mountain is big.
This cavern might be really big, and the mountain's just also really big. I don't know, scale's a factor. But yeah, it's glowing. A dim but unmistakable red.
From this irregular glowing hill came tendrils, each perhaps 3 or 4 feet in diameter. As my eyes adjusted, I could see that there were a dozen or more of these tendrils, and that each one extended to the edge of the cavern, and then kept going into the rock itself. The tendrils, too, glowed a dim red. I realized that I could see things moving in the tendrils. The tendrils were hollow. They were tubes, each about as big around as... Yes, my favorite unit of measurement! A Taxxon! I saw them then. My eyes finally pierced the darkness and saw Taxxons, dozens, no hundreds. How adorable. They swarmed around and over the glowing red mountain. As I watched, I saw holes open up in the side of the tunnel tendrils. Wow, this nomenclature is getting tricky. Out crawled more Taxxons. Tunnel tendrils full of Taxxons. They had to see me. They couldn't help but see me, and yet none moved to attack me. Instead... They busied, I almost read bustled. Instead, they busied themselves, pushing dirt and rock back into place.
Cute. And we all realized, I think
my Mustang.
We read this independently, but we all came to the same realization as this was described. Elfangor is in heaven.
This is gotta be the
best. He did it.
So
in the realm.
They've got little pneumatic tubes full of Taxxons. It's so cute. Imagine them sending one of those out at the pharmacy for you.
Little fleshy pneumatic tubes. Yeah. And then we get a thought speak.
It's Werner Herzog again.
It's a huge thought speak.
Creature.
Is this the creature?
Arg! I screamed. The voice in my head was huge, massive. I grabbed my head with hands. With my hands. It was like hearing the planet speak. It was only then, as I staggered under the psychic blow, that I realized the Red Mountain was alive. I heard a different thought speak voice. Yes, that is him, Arbron said. He is called Elfangor.
No, he's never spoken like this before.
No, that's canon. That's how I've read every line of his so far.
Well, I thought he was just changed now. We're in the realm of the mountain Taxxons.
Yes,
the rebels.
The rebel mountain Taxxons.
Yes, just to drive it home.
And Arbron is here.
Arbron sounds like this. This is how
he's
he
enlightened.
sounds.
He's enlightened.
Yes. This is how I sound when I'm enlightened.
Yes, yeah.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon!